What does it feel like to be a associate head coach, and kind of what's the summer looked like for you?
The summer's been crazy. I mean, obviously, we got off the plane getting back from Stanford and just kind of hit the ground running, right? So you're just, getting ready for these high schoolers, getting into the draft, doing in-home visits. Obviously, the transfer portal's going crazy. So you're just trying to get a really good baseline of like, all right, who's signing pro, who's coming back. And we do those things. Jim's great. He does those things throughout the year to kind of just gauge the temperature, if you will. But as far as being an associate head coach, I mean, I feel the same. My wife's not really that impressed, So no, it's an awesome honor, and to earn that from Coach Schlossnagle. He came to my house on July 4th and kind of told me what his plan was going to be, and just made me really think back and really appreciate people like Paul Maneri and Cliff Godwin and Terry Rooney, guys that I knew I wanted to coach at a very young age, just like Max, and those people had a huge impact on my life, and now Coach Schlossnagle is as well. So,
just curious, what about the day-to-day has changed for your responsibilities and stuff since you've gotten the new title?
I think it's all the same, man. Recruiting players, trying to find out who the best young players are in the country, trying to get Max acclimated with the landscape of what recruiting is going to be like. We're going to hit the road here hopefully in a week or so and get him started. Coach Early's already been on the road. Will Fox, we had a waiver for him when we didn't have another assistant coach hired, so he's been out there beating the streets, and I was in the Cape, come back here, we're working the portal, obviously the transition, just trying to keep everybody calm with the news of Coach Yeski and that kind of stuff. So I would say that nothing's really changed, just keep working hard, doing my deal, and keep helping Texas A&M bring in great players. So,
Coach mentioned that he was looking for the kind of pitching version of Coach Early. What is it about college baseball now, the players that you've seen, that respond to these kind of younger guys who have some good ideas and some good coaching?
I think these kids these days are just so connected because of social media. I mean, the best 15-year-old player in California knows the best 15-year-old player in Florida because they're connected on social media and, with all the events that they go to. So those guys stay in touch. They know what goes on at X program, Y program. They know the development that goes on. So there's so many new facets of pitching. I think you saw Max boil it down to still it's, you've got to be a competitor first, and, you've got to be able to throw the ball over the strike zone. We want to dominate the strike zone. But I think within those parameters, there's a lot of stuff with technology and video, Edutronic cameras, Rapsodo, TrackMan, all these kind of things where the little small inches are there to make a guy a better performer on the field, right? So I think that was something that, when me and Coach Schlossnagle spoke, that was something that we definitely wanted to move into that direction, right? So to go out there and get somebody like Max that's already accomplished the things that he has in less than 30 years old, which is just absolutely amazing. So that's a huge bolster to just all our overall staff when you lose somebody like Coach Yeski.
I got a question for you. Obviously, a lot of changes for the staff these last couple of days. People were maybe anxious to see how things would go. So why is the staff here at A&M better this week than it was maybe 2 or 3 ago?
Well, we have a pitching coach, so that's a good place to start. I mean, I could talk to every 2024 in the country that's a pitcher and have a great conversation with them, but when you don't have somebody to pass them off to have that conversation with the pitching coach, what's the landscape going to look like at Texas A&M? What do you believe in, and match up those things that are important to a recruit with what you do in a program. When you don't have that person, it makes it difficult. And then obviously having Mike Early out on the road, phenomenal. He's young, he's energetic. He knows what players look like. Just having that other set of eyes on the road to be able to evaluate a player, whereas before I'm at a game, hey, I like this guy. Take some video, send it to Mike. Hey, do you like the swing? You like the way this works? Hey, let's try to get this guy to camp so you can actually see him in person. We eliminate all of that now because our hitting coach, our pitching coach, myself, and then our head coach are allowed to be on the road. So from a recruiting standpoint, you're able to cover way more area.
You definitely had some holes to fill with the draft. I know y'all are active in the transfer portal and everything like that. How do you feel like generally speaking, the roster is shaping up?
It's phenomenal right now. I mean, there's 3 or 4 guys that are out there in the portal that I'm assuming that everybody knows their names, and we're right there in the mix with them. We've got some visits lined up, waiting for a few things with Team USA to finish up. So, yeah, we're still cruising along, and you know, like Jim said earlier, it's a balance, right? You want to have a gateway for your young players to come in and play, because we do want to transition out of this 6 to 8 players out of the transfer portal every year. You want to be able to use the portal to, you know, you lose 2 left-hand pitchers in the draft, or you lose both of your shortstops, or hey, this is a hole in our team, you know, we need a DH, we need a whammer, we need something like that, right? So you want to be able to kind of cherry pick those things, and we're getting closer and closer every year with the talent that we're bringing in. You know, this 23 class is turned out to be amazing. I mean, you know, guys like Isaac Morton get drafted yesterday. Guy threw 8 innings this year. You know, I mean, that's a guy that we saw 2.5 years ago at an event and built that relationship with him and get him committed. And, you know, so there's a lot of stories just like Isaac Morton within that class, you know. So we're super excited about getting those guys here. They're all pretty much all here in summer school, working out with Mac and going to class and kind of getting that feel of what it's like to be a college baseball player. So those development standpoint, that's going on now with this bridge program is huge in what we do. So
I know you mentioned Morton, but also getting highly thought of guys like Rahovic and Sorrell here and keeping pretty much the entire signing class intact. What does that say not only just about the coaching staff here, but the program as a whole to have these kids show up?
You know, you can recruit players, you can commit players, then you sign them, and it's the only sport where the draft happens before college. So it doesn't mean anything. You can, you know, you don't spike the football until, you know, the draft is over with. And to do that with all of those guys, I think it really is Coach Schlossnagle was amazing at it, right? So just giving these kids the information to understand, you know, the process of coming to college and what that does for you and how that expedites your professional career. So when you get to pro ball, you're going straight to high A, you're going straight to double A, you're in the big leagues in less than 18 months. That's the goal. The goal isn't to be a pro player. I was a pro player and I stunk. The goal is to be a big leaguer. And so the quickest way for that to happen is to come through college baseball. And that's just information, that's facts. So when you gather the information, you do in-home visits, you have the relationship with the family, they trust you, then ultimately they have to make the decision. But, you know, when Gavin Grahovic came on his visit 2 years ago, to know that that guy's going to be at a school, be on campus is amazing. You know, Caden Sorrell was a player that a lot of people didn't know about. He wasn't famous on the circuit until this spring, and he had a great spring. And then he's on everybody's, you know, on the major league draft boards. He's pretty much in everybody's top 100 prospects. So to get those guys to school, and there's so many more guys in that class that aren't talked about, but that are amazing players. So.
Then my last question for you, Coach. Obviously, year 1 was excellent, year 2 was good, recruiting's booming, and you're sending players to the next level. What's the pulse of the program, and where would you guys rank A&M nationally?
Oh, I mean, it's at the very top. I mean, we're in the SEC. We're in the SEC West. We've been to Omaha. We've brought in great transfer portal classes. Now we're starting to see the fruits of the work paying off with this 23 class next year, the 24, the 25, the 26 that we've already got built up. So, you know, it's just one of those things that takes time. When you take a new job, you know, you can sometimes be 2 or 3 classes behind on the high school stuff because they just changed the rules about 6 months ago. But you know, all the best players are already committed because they're young. So, but now they've kind of eliminated that. So, but yeah, we're just kind of, that snowball effect is continuously building, and excited to see what this looks like this year and get to work with these guys this fall.
Anything else, guys? Awesome. Thank you all.